Did you know epilepsy is a chronic condition that affects about 1% of the population? Symptoms can range from mild to severe and can include repeated seizures.
Treatments for epilepsy have come a long way, though, and here to explain is Dr. Samdin Latu with UT Physicians, along with Melissa McDonald, whose teenage daughter, Emily, was diagnosed with epilepsy at age 12. Welcome to both of you. Doctor, let's first talk about, for people that hear epilepsy, that word can be very scary. Walk us through that diagnosis.
Epilepsy, as Derek just said, is a tendency to repeated seizures. It's a very common condition. So between 1 in 10 to 1 in 20 people at some time in their lives will have an epileptic seizure. But in the vast majority, it's easily controlled with medication. So it's about a third or so in which medication fails, and then options like surgery, for example, then become feasible treatment options.
And you know, I know that there's a wide range, and this is case by case, but as a child, can pediatric epilepsy cases, can children outgrow epilepsy?
So epilepsy is a very heterogeneous condition in the sense that there are many different types of epilepsies. Some, as you've just said, are linked to age and do get better as time passes. There are many others that do not. So it's a very diverse condition.
And when we talk about small percentages in the overall population, I think it's important to note that that translates literally into millions and millions of people. Does it always include seizures, or can you be epileptic but not have seizures?
It always involves seizures, although they can be controlled. So there may be seizures in the beginning that are easily controlled. It does always involve seizures. There are many different types of seizures, so the presentation of the seizure can vary. So the commonest, of course, is what you see on television, for example, in movies, people having, seizures where they fall to the floor and convulse.
Right.
But there are others where they might just blink a little bit or zone out a little bit, and there are many others in between.
And let's talk about SUDEP, which stands for Sudden Unexpected Death in Epilepsy. Of course, that came to light recently over the sudden death of Cameron Boyce, who's the Disney star that passed away. Can you shed some light on that?
SUDEP, fortunately, is not a common occurrence. So in the epilepsy population, it probably happens once in 1,000 patients per year or so. But in those in whom seizures are very frequent, particularly grand mal seizures or generalized tonic-clonic seizures, the risk is approximately 1 in 100 to 1 in 200. So this is where breathing stops or the heart stops suddenly during or after a seizure and can be a catastrophic outcome in epilepsy.
Melissa, as we mentioned, your 15-year-old daughter, Emily, was diagnosed a few years ago. What did you notice? How did this all happen at 12 years old?
It's kind of surreal, I guess, looking back on it. It started out as a normal day. She went to school, and we were scheduled to go to Girl Scout camp. I have 3 daughters, and so I picked them all up from school, and we were headed on the Fort Bend Toll Road, and we took the Beltway, and they were all 3 in a row because we had all those camp supplies in the back. And so, Courtney, I know with kids, they're like elbowing each other, and they're doing the whole, and that's what I was hearing from the back seat, she's in my space, that kind of thing. And I tilted the rearview mirror back, and I saw that my youngest has complained about my daughter's hand on her iPad, and I saw her hand folded in and doing like this. And then when I tilted the rearview mirror up a little bit more, I could see she was forward, and so I yelled to my middle kid to sit her up, and when she did, I saw like foam coming out of her mouth, and she was convulsing. And I was on the Beltway.
Yeah.
And then, as I would mention, I used to work here. I used to work with you, and my 2 kids started screaming. She was in between them. We were on the Beltway, and so I looked, and I thought this was the same way that I went to KPRC, and so I took the exit, and I went to Memorial Hermann Southwest next door.
And there you got your help, and obviously series of tests and things. So fast forward to today, scariest thing you've ever seen as a parent, I'm sure.
Oh, it is.
But she's living with epilepsy.
Oh, yeah. So, there's moments where you forget that they have it.
Right.
And then there's moments where you're like in the car, or I've heard her fall in the shower and have it. Things you don't think about. She does, we don't let her take baths because she could drown if she was having a seizure. But the day she had one in the shower, her foot hit the drain and the tub started to fill. So it's things like that where, you forget about it, and then it's a harsh reminder of what takes place. But they put her in the epilepsy monitoring unit earlier this year to try to see if there was something else that could help her, because she has the refractory epilepsy where she's drug resistant. And they found another option for her, and for her, it wasn't the surgery, that type of surgery, but it was for a implant. And that's what she has in her chest, and I brought a little one, and so she has this implanted under her skin, and it's helped a lot. She doesn't have the major seizures anymore, but she still has the myoclonus absent, so she might stare off, her eyes might roll a little bit, but has gotten so much better since she got this.
And that's essentially, it's sort of like a pacemaker
Right.
doctor that controls the nerves that cause the seizures?
Right.
Is that
So
right?
This particular device is called a vagal nerve stimulator. It wraps around a nerve called the vagus, which passes through the neck. And stimulating that modulates brain activity and can prevent recurrent seizures. So we have the technology these days to do that not just in the vagal nerve, but inside the brain, so-called deep brain stimulation. And the sophisticated gadgetry that's available now that can not only treat the seizures, but also detect them so that they can be treated in what we call a closed-loop system. So there are all these techniques available these days that weren't options just a few years ago.
It's really remarkable, and we have about 30 seconds left. Melissa, you mentioned something about the epilepsy monitoring unit, and that is specific. This is basically to find out what treatments would be best for that patient.
Yes, it's extremely important before treatment is given to patients that we have the diagnosis correct, and that's where the epilepsy monitoring unit comes in. There are certain drugs, certain treatments that work for certain epilepsies and not others. And of course, there are conditions that can mimic epilepsy, and those are best detected in the epilepsy monitoring unit.
Dr. Latu, thanks for your time. Melissa,
Thank you.
Scary, but I mean, it's so encouraging to know that now, no matter what kind of epilepsy you are diagnosed with, there are more options than ever. And if you would like more info or to schedule a consultation at the location nearest you, you can visit utphysicians.com/epilepsy, or you can give them a call at 888-4UT-DOCS.